Ooh, wasabi guys, we're going to continue the spoilers. This is for Wednesday, June 28th, and apparently we get the final two of the, I guess you could say, the last cards for the gods, sort of their last efforts in fighting the Scorpion God and Locust God. I guess this is basically the cards that are going along that storyline there, and these ones we get here: Hazoret's Undying Fury. Shuffle your library, then exile the top 4 cards. You may cast any number of non-land cards with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them without paying their mana costs. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. For 6 mana, it's interesting. I don't know. It might see play in standard. It's definitely one of those cards that I think if it was not so expensive, it would be a sure thing. But 5 or less, that's the majority of cards in standard anyway. So it could see play. The fact that your lands don't untap is the major drawback for a lot of these cards, but it's still good. I definitely think it should see some play. Maybe not a whole lot, but it should see some. Then we have Kefnit's Last Word. 4 mana blue, sorcery, gain control of target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. For 4 mana, going back to the days of treachery, I don't know. I definitely don't think this is worth it, but I don't think there's enough enchantment or artifact presence, though, to really justify this in standard. It could see play in commander. That might be a stretch. It's alright. I don't think it's going to see too much play, though. Then we have the cards from, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I didn't get to cover these, but we have Imminent Doom, a 3 mana enchantment, red. When it enters the battlefield, it enters with a Doom counter on it, and whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of Doom counters on it, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to that much, equal to the counters. And then you get to put another Doom counter on it, so each time you cast a spell with the CMC, it goes up, up, up. Probably not going to see any play at all. It's very narrow. Burn hasn't really been that good in standard in a while. I don't know if this is going to see limited play. It's too specific. I think, if anything, it might see play in Commander a little bit, but that's a stretch. I think this is going to be one of those bulk rares that not too many people are going to want. And then we have Hour of Promise, 5 mana sorcery, it's green. Search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Then if you control 3 or more deserts, create 2/2/2 black zombie creature tokens. I like this card a lot, especially if we're talking about the limited constructed environment for this set. The deserts are pretty good, which I'm going to get to those in a second here. But they're alright. I think we have some decent ones, enough to make it worth playing a deck built around deserts. It might be a bit of a stretch, but I don't think it's going to be super competitive. However, I think it's still intriguing enough to build a strategy around it. And for 5 mana to get 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, as well as searching for 2 land cards and putting them on the battlefield tapped, that's pretty decent. I think it should see play. 5 mana, it is expensive, but again, for what it does, you're ramping up and you're getting 2/2/2s, you're getting 4 power there, and 2 lands for 5 mana. That's pretty good for standard. Then we have Mauve Chaos. I'll translate it here. It's 7 mana, 2 red there. For a Hellion, when Mauve Chaos enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each other creature. Probably another bulk rare. Don't really see this seeing much play at all. When you do that in red, you typically want to be aggressive, and you're going to swing with a lot of cheaper costly creatures that are typically going to get thrown under the bus with this type of ability, so I don't really see it being that big of a deal. Mid-range is probably its best bet, but if you try to go with typical red strategies, it's most likely not going to fit. Then we have God Pharaoh's Gift, 7 mana artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you can exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Gains haste until end of turn. I don't think it's going to see too much play at all. Maybe Commander, but again, it's kind of one of those bulk rares. It's not going to be worth much. Then we have Hallow 1, 5 mana artifact, creature golem, a 4/4. Costs 2 less to cast for each card you've cycled or discarded this turn. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's interesting. I think this is going to see play in standard, ladies and gentlemen. We found ourselves a reason to cycle And we've had some good cycle cards already, and especially if we're getting more cycling lands, that's definitely going to be good. 2 less, it's not that hard to cycle. They're typically 2 mana costs. It's not difficult anyway. So you get card advantage on top of being able to cast this for free, practically. Let's say it's not hard to do cycling like 3 times. Even 2 times, you're still getting a 4/4 for 1 mana. That's ridiculous. I don't say it's broken like Affinity, but it's definitely consideration for standard. We have Endless Sands, another desert. It comes into play on tap though, so that's good. Taps for colorless mana, and we can pay 2, tap it, exile target creature we control. Why would we do that? 4 mana, tap it, sacrifice Endless Sands, return each creature card exiled with Endless Sands to the battlefield under its owner's control. Why would we even consider doing that? That's kind of bad, right? Well, if there's some good ETBs that you can abuse, that's definitely worth it. However, I feel it is too expensive for the activated abilities, and it's probably not going to see any play at all. Yet another bulk rare. Then we move on to colored deserts, and these all have activated abilities, but the good thing about them is that they come into play untapped, and they have the ability to tap for specific mana. So already they're better than the majority of the other deserts. So we have Shafet Dunes, it's the white one, and it has the activated ability. All of these have the pay 1 life to add, certain color depending on which land it is. And, again, it comes into play untapped, but untapped mana is always good. Yeah, you're paying life for it, but who cares? You have the ability here on Shafet Dunes, 4 mana total, tap it, sacrifice a desert. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery, which is the bad part about some of these, is that they're only sorcery speed. However, I feel like there's better ones, which I'm going to get to. Ibnu Rivulet, I guess that's how you say it. I don't know. Same thing with the mana. Pay 2, tap it, sacrifice a desert. Target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Not a lot of mill in standard or anything else, so I don't really see this seeing too much play beyond, I guess, maybe Commander mill decks, but I don't know. If near Deadlands, 4, tap it to sacrifice a desert. Put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature and opponent controls. You can only do it at sorcery speed. That's not too bad. I mean, 4 mana, that's not bad. If you have nothing else to spend mana on, that's pretty good. Ramanap Ruins, 4 mana, tap it, sacrifice a desert. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. Obviously, maybe Commander, but I don't know. When I hear like deals 2 damage to each opponent, that's obviously like they're trying to push it for Commander, but I don't think it's going to see any play in Commander. Hashep Oasis, 3 mana, tap it, sacrifice a desert. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. That's not bad, even if it is sorcery speed and you can't really do all the combat tricks, and it's still good, the fact that you can pop up a creature 3/3 for 3 mana and you can just have it sit on the field. These are all pretty decent. If you want to make a desert-based deck, these are all a good sign for that type of strategy, that we get ones that are good and they come into play untapped. So let me know what you guys think about these spoilers. I definitely think these are interesting. Maybe not too exciting. You definitely can tell that they're watering down here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Void Mage Gamer here. Subscribe if you have not already. Signing off. Thanks for watching.